Hi, hiya, I'm Stella Oni, author of crime fiction, police procedural, deadly sacrifice, presenting another week in crime fiction around the world. I hope you'll enjoy our journey. Last time that I did this, I said I was going to start the London series of books, and actually, I think I showed that in my last one. There's about 4 to 5 books that I'll be featuring in a series. I might not necessarily do London each week because some of the books are quite big. So I might, in between the series, I might actually put in one book or the other. So we might either be going to China, or we might be going to Mumbai, or might be going to Australia. It depends. We'll see what happens. But to start off the series, I decided to do this book, Yardie, which was published in 1992, 29 good years ago. And Yardie is written by Victor Headley, who had written quite a number of books after this. It was published in 1992 by Black Publishing Company Express, which was founded by journalists Dotun Adebayo and Steve Pope. I just wish they're still around. But when they set up the publishing company and started publishing the books, it was huge. Yardie exploded into the scene first, and I tell you, it was an explosion. It was just, in fact, it's actually a small book, as you can see. It's just about 180 so pages. So about 185 pages of tightly packed and tightly written book. Just incredible. And what's the story about? It's actually about Dennis Campbell, known as D, who came from his yard. Yardie came from his yard, came from Jamaica. He was working for a crime boss there. Smart, handsome, charming, fresh from Jamaica to Heathrow with a pack of cocaine that he was supposed to deliver to the crime counterparts in the UK. But D, ruthless, cocksure, confident, brutal, intelligent, had other ideas. He had decided that when he landed in the UK, he would not deliver the package. He was going to use the package to set up his own business. And that's exactly what he did. And it was just a roller coaster of D setting up his crime, this criminal endeavor, huge one. He linked up with old friends, old girlfriends, and really set up this business. So, like I said, Yardie is so well written, so tightly written that you could actually read this book in 1 or 2 sittings. And what else can I say about it? It's a classic that takes you back into the early black gangster life, where shooting is the norm of the day, drug on the streets, so many things happening on the streets. When Yardie came out, it was quite controversial in the sense that, it kind of like showed a raw side to the black community, really, really very quite negative in a way, but at the same time, quite scary in a way. So many things in, like I said, this small book. I enjoyed reading it. I actually enjoyed reading it, but at the same time, like I said, there are triggers. I would say there are triggers in there. There are it's 29 years ago, and it still felt so real and so raw. Now, a few years ago, I think it was 2018, Idris Elba actually directed a film. So I think he produced and directed it. I haven't watched it, but I can say this: whoever took this on is very brave. The language in Yardie, most of the language I will say, I think almost all of it is in Patois because D came straight from Jamaica. Very easy to understand anyway, you know, it's in Patois, that's number one. If you really want to capture it, you have to kind of get under the skin of D. You need to kind of like get him and where it comes from. And it's difficult to do that. He's the protagonist of this book. So is somebody you're actually reading about someone who is following his move and everything, someone who is ruthless, as I said, who is brutal, charming, deadly, everything you can think of. So kind of like, you know, anti-hero, but you have to follow because you're reading it. So anyway, start of the London series, as I said, and actually what a classic and what a whopper to read. So I think have a look and see whether you can get copies, and if you want to read it, or go to your library and see if you can get a copy, because like I said, it's quite old and it's not been re-released. So, you know, if you can get hold of it and read it, have a go. And I think, you know, it depends on each person, but it's still a book I could not ignore because this was London, a rough, ready, and violent aspect of London in the 90s, but very, very, very the other way. So, so anyway, yeah, London series. Thanks for listening to me, and we shall be able to, I'll be back next week to do another London book. Thank you.